Marches in the millions to protest the Trump administration.
Those iconic stickers will be back as early voting starts today.
And how Amazon Prime is taking their users far.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is NTTV News at Noon.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining NTTV News at Noon. I'm Cameron Shields.
And I'm Annie Tomlin. Thousands took to the streets on Saturday to participate in a nationwide protest for No Kings. Several cities like Dallas, Fort Worth, Plano, Denton, Carrollton, and other North Texas cities, to name a few. Denton's protest took place at the downtown square where hundreds gathered for the second time this year after the first nationwide day of protest took place on President Trump's birthday and the Army's 250th anniversary on June 14th. The first No Kings Day was in solidarity with the Los Angeles protests that took place at the beginning of the summer with outrage from ICE arrests. Key issues that influenced people to participate this time around included the ongoing government shutdown with federal workers not being paid, FCC Chairman Brandon Carr taking Jimmy Kimmel off air, ICE arrests, and the National Guard being sent to Democratic cities.
One of Greg Abbott's most vocal critics in the Texas legislature is now running against him in the race for governor. State Representative Gina Hinojosa announced this week she's jumping into the 2026 Democratic primary race. Hinojosa has served 5 terms in the Texas House, and she is the most recognizable Democratic to enter this race. Hinojosa is best known for pushing hard against Governor Greg Abbott's school voucher plan. Abbott is seeking a 4th term, and he has won each of the last 3 elections by double digits.
While politicians are racing to the ballot, Texans are heading towards the polls.
That's right. It's time to dust off those voter registration cards. Our reporter Isabel Ovalle has all the details.
Yes, Cameron. Early voters is now available to vote today in Texas, with 17 statewide poll position. Sorry, getting a little bit breezy. Early voting will last until October 31st, and which makes Texas voters have the final say on the 17th constitutional amendment, which includes billions of dollars in property tax cuts for homeowners and businesses, Denton ISD tax rates, and potential water supply projects. Places you can vote in Denton include Denton CVAS Center, Denton County Election Admissions, and Denton's fire stations. Back to you guys at the front desk.
Thanks so much, Batu. My apologies. Earlier this morning, Amazon Web Services has experienced a large outage affecting multiple online services. Amazon Web Services and Amazon's cloud computing were affected along with Venmo, Snapchat, Facebook, and Prime Video, according to downdetector.com. There were even disruptions in some airline systems, such as Delta's and United's. This outage only lasted 3 hours, and things should be back up and running as of now.
Currently, French authorities are trying to track down thieves that took several pieces of jewelry from the Louvre in Paris. Jen Sullivan has the story.
An elaborate robbery and jewelry heist in broad daylight at one of the most famous museums in the world. French authorities say thieves stole priceless jewelry from the Louvre in Paris Sunday.
It does appear that these were extremely well-trained robbers. They planned this meticulously, obviously.
The break-in happened in the museum's Apollo Gallery, which houses the French crown jewels as well as treasures, including Louis XIV's hardstone vessel collection. The thieves raiding the gallery in just 7 minutes at around 9:30 local time Sunday morning, just 30 minutes after the museum opened. Officials have not yet released full details on the stolen items or what they're worth. The Louvre is the largest art museum in the world, spanning more than 750,000 square feet. The Apollo Gallery is located on the first floor, not far from where the Mona Lisa is hanging. Officials say the thieves entered the museum from the outside using an external freight elevator that was on a truck, then forced open a window to get in. They then fled on motorcycles.
Nobody knew what happened. Like we heard the sounds and we didn't have no clue that it was a robbery.
The Louvre is the most visited museum in the world, welcoming more than 8.5 million visitors last year. Following the break-in, museum officials ushering out visitors and evacuating the building. The Louvre now closed.
It's a pity, but I think that when it is this is so exceptional, I think they can't do anything about it.
It takes a while to get the tickets to get in here, so it's a little disappointing.
I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
It is unclear just how many items were stolen, but we do know that there were 2 that were recovered. One was the crown of Empress Eugenia, and a second piece of jewelry that has yet to be identified. We will continue to follow this developing story. Cameron, I think if we could only cover one thing today, I would want it to be the weather, because I was not expecting the chill.
I completely agree. I mean, this is huge news for Texas.
Yeah.
Let's toss it over to our weather anchor, Sherelle Orozco, to see what the next couple of days have in store.
As we've been getting a lot of few warm weeks, finally we're getting a taste in fall here in North Texas. As you can tell, the weather has been dropping. Since last week, we have been dealing with around 80 degrees, but as you can tell, it's been perfect. It's 71 right now at the moment, but honestly, when I was walking outside, my hair was a mess. Everything was very, very windy. So keep in mind what you're gonna wear, because honestly, the wind is really cold, but we're still gonna, feel a little warm, so keep in mind what you're gonna wear. For tonight, the conditions are gonna be colder, as you can tell, so keep in mind if you have any pets, make sure you keep them indoors, because it's gonna drop. As you can tell, it's gonna feel like 74, and you have to keep in mind, like, what are you gonna wear? Because you can tell the wind is getting really, really bad, and for the conditions for tomorrow, it's gonna be hot, which is crazy, because welcome to Texas. You can't expect what's actually gonna happen throughout the week. As you can tell, it's gonna be really hot, and it's gonna be better than today, honestly. So if you wanna go out for tomorrow, it's a perfect time. Thank you so much. Back to Annie and Cameron. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Sherelle. Despite the recent ceasefire deal, multiple attacks have been recorded in Gaza from the Israeli government. Israel's military stated that the troops were attacked by Hamas, and Hamas stated that they did not participate in any attacks against Israel. Quote, they were honoring the ceasefire. Israel stopped aid from entering Gaza in response to the attacks, but has since resumed the deliveries.
So Cameron, did you buy a lottery ticket this year?
Of course I did. You know I love a little safe gamble.
All right, well, I wasn't sure about it, but since AI just won the lottery, I'm sure we can too. But we'll give you the details when we return. A celebration turned into a heartbreak on Saturday night when a 66-year-old man crashed his car at a family birthday party in Maryland. The car hit a total of 14 people. 8 of them were children and are expected to survive. The incident claimed the life of 31-year-old Ashley Hernandez Gutierrez. The driver initially ran from the scene but later turned himself in. Authorities have not yet released the details on his name, but they're stating that they're pressing charges.
MCI Foods Incorporated is currently issuing a recall on Los Cabos, El Masfino, and Miramar brand products. This is due to a possible discovery of listeria contamination in the product's eggs. External suppliers performing routine tests discovered a positive listeria contamination, and MCI Foods reported the contamination to the Food Safety Inspection Service. This recall includes over 90,000 pounds of food containing eggs. These shipments that were made from September 17th to October 14th were sent to schools and food institutions across the country. No illnesses related to the listeria contamination have been reported as of Saturday.
I remember having those burritos in school, but I really haven't seen much about them on campus now. But what I have heard about is a federal offer to universities.
See, I really cannot make sense of it all, but luckily, Isabel Ovaya is actually here this time to give us all the details. Isabel?
Today's the deadline for the vote for Trump's College Compact. 9 universities were offered this compact that would require these institutions to align themselves with the Trump administration political agenda. This agreement was sent out on October 1st and includes a range of changes from capping intake of students on visas all the way to banning trans people from using the restrooms that they align with their identity. In exchange for signing this compact, and universities would be eligible for preferential treatment and exclusive access to grants. Multiples of these 9 universities, including MIT, University of Southern California, Brown, and UPenn, have already released statements declining this offer, violating their beliefs. It was stated in their contracts. The remaining universities have not declined, but have since had virtual meetings with the White House. And this offer was therefore extended to 3 additional universities, and we are waiting for their answers today. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Isabella. Well, we know what today and tomorrow is going to feel like, and sadly, it's hot. What do you think about the rest of the week?
I'm hoping it's cooler, but I think we should just send it to our weather anchor, Sherelle Roscoe, to see what we can expect. Sherelle?
Good evening, Denton. As you can tell, it's been a crazy week. As you can tell, it's 79 degrees, but low-key, you can feel all the fall season coming through. We're finally getting that fall feeling, even though it's been really hot throughout this whole entire October, but we're finally getting a glance of what fall feels like, as you can tell around North Texas. But if we look across Texas, you can tell that in El Paso it's going to be a bit more cooler if you go more this way. As you can tell, it's a perfect time to go traveling anywhere across the state since there's pumpkin patches going around, football games going around. It's a perfect time to go out with your family since the fall season has finally arrived after waiting so long for this moment. For the forecast for this week in Denton, gotta get ready for Halloween, guys. As you can tell, it's been kind of hot. It's still kind of hot, but as you can tell at night, it's clearly still going to be kind of cold. So keep in mind what you're going to wear, like I said multiple times. Also, if you have small pets, please bring them indoors so they don't freeze outside. And we are going to get a bunch of storms coming here on Friday and on Thursday. So keep in mind what you're going to wear that day. If you have any events that day, make sure what you wear. If you want to go still, since it is going to be raining really bad, and it's going to be thundering, so keep in mind what you wear. And that's all for me. Back to Andy and Cameron. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Sherelle. Artificial intelligence may not be capable of feeling emotions unless you count feeling lucky as an emotion. A woman in Michigan had ChatGPT generate her a set of lottery numbers that hit a 100 grand win. The Michigan Lottery was very adamant on making sure that although there was a win related to artificial intelligence, quote, the results of all lottery drawings are random and cannot be predicted by utilizing artificial intelligence or other number generating tools. Tammy Carvey played these numbers in the second highest Michigan Powerball, which was $1.787 billion. You bought a ticket?
Maybe, but there's one more ticket I wish I could have gotten, and that was a ticket to the State Fair of Texas.
Well, we've got some more information on the State Fair coming up, so stay tuned.
A Nebraska teen with a love for running was headed down an uncertain path when a car crash left his leg severely injured. With 2 cracked femurs, Jace Bournier wasn't sure he would even walk again. This year, he's on the cross-country team. After a year of gradually returning to sports and limited physical activity, he's turning heads. While it is unclear Jace will qualify for the All-Star Championship, he says his goal is just to get faster and faster.
The State Fair held 385,000 less fairgoers this year than last year. Although it still garnered 2 million visitors, social media posts were found to show less state fairgoers than usual. The State Fair of Texas is an official nonprofit organization that gives back to the community through scholarships and community initiatives. So only time will tell how this lack of fairgoers will affect the State Fair being able to give out these benefits.
Cameron, how do you get here in the morning?
I have a nice walk through campus every morning.
Oh, well, I drive, and it used to be nice until all the traffic going through my wallet.
In that case, our segment anchor, Michaela Dixon, may have some good news for you. Michaela?
Yes, you guys. In more exciting news, gas prices are finally dropping. In the past week, the average has dropped more than 5 cents a gallon. The travel agency says several factors are behind the drop, including lower demand and falling crude oil prices. And on another note, as holidays are starting to approach us and people start traveling back home, Amazon is also doing a good deal for their Prime members, offering them 25 cents off per gallon every Friday for the rest of the year. To redeem the perks, Prime members must link their membership to Earnify BP loyalty program to get the deal. Then enter your phone number at the pump. The deal is only for BP and Ameco gas stations. That's all from me, guys. I hope everyone gets to catch these good deals, and back to you guys at the desk.
Fast fashion has been a controversial topic for the past couple of years. Not only does it affect the environment, but recently it might be affecting your local thrift stores. Katie Muncie has our story.
Shopping for clothes has become easier than ever, especially when brands like Shein, Runway, and other fast fashion clothing offer affordable and trendy items for a low price.
However, most of these clothes are only worn a few times before they end up here, in your local thrift store.
I feel like a lot of people's expectations have changed for what fashion really is. Like a lot of people are more shopping online than they would in stores just to find like these like really cute outfits and not really care about like the damage that fast fashion has on like actual businesses.
At almost any thrift store, fast fashion brands are everywhere. And while those $2 tops may seem tempting, they are taking away space from more sustainable clothing.
Just find it really wasteful, and it's, for me, I would rather go to a thrift store and get something that's also $2 to $3, but made in a lot higher quality and isn't just going to end up in a landfill in a few years.
According to Yale University, the popular site Shein adds 10,000 pieces of clothing to their website every day. This is to keep up with the micro trends that may only last a couple of days.
The clothing industry is not very sustainable right now because of how many trends are coming out and just like how fast things are being made. It's like we can't keep up with the amount of like product that's being made.
Thrift stores provide a chance for customers to buy clothing at an affordable price. However, with the increase of fast fashion taking over the donation bins, customers are left frustrated and the store often takes the blame. Instead of relying on fast fashion, shoppers are encouraged to purchase sustainable clothing from their local thrift store for a more ethical way to shop, low cost. With NTTV News, I'm Katie Muncie.
You know what else is happening fast? UNT's incredible football season.
I know. We went to the homecoming game and it was raining on us. Looks like rain or shine, UNT sports is just going to show up no matter what. But to hear more about UNT sports and other sports, let's toss it to our sports anchor, Houston Hall.
Thanks, guys. Coming up with sports, both the Cowboys and UNT had bounce-back wins in huge ways after losing last week, and the Mavs are geared up to get their season underway as well. So don't even think about clicking away because we'll be right back.
I wonder what's on the radio today. I don't know about this. This is not it.
Everything alternative, commercial free. 88.1 Indie.
Here at KNTU, we have two traditional stations, 88.1 Indie and KNTU Jazz. We've also recently launched an internet radio station called Mean Green Hits. If you want to hear more, you can check us out at MediaNorthTexas.com.
That was pretty good.
After a tough loss off of a last-second field goal last week in Carolina, the Cowboys were in need of a bounce-back win. But this task became increasingly achievable when it was announced that their star wide receiver CeeDee Lamb was finally ready to get back on the field. Lamb made his presence felt early when he hauled in a 74-yard touchdown pass from Prescott to give Dallas a 17-8 lead to end the first quarter. Dallas's tight end Jake Ferguson also had a pair of receiving touchdowns that stretched the Cowboy lead to 19. Dallas continued the punishment in the third quarter with a pick six from Deron Bland, giving them a 41-15 lead. By the time the final horn had sounded, Dallas had won the game 44-22, and Lamb had a remarkable 5 catches for 110 yards and his touchdown. There were some worries surrounding the football team at UNT after they suffered their first loss of the season against USF. Fans and students were wondering how the team would respond, but all these worries were put to rest. After giving up a big run to UTSA's Robert Henry Jr. on the first drive, the Mean Green defense turned up the heat. On the Roadrunners' next 2 drives, they managed to tally a combined -3 yards of total offense. In the meantime, the Mean Green offense was working like a well-oiled machine as UNT led 17-7 at the end of the first quarter. To start the third quarter, North Texas continued domination, finding the end zone on their first 2 drives and forcing fumbles from UTSA on their first 2 drives. On the back of wide receiver Wyatt Young, who cracked 100 receiving yards as well as 3 touchdowns, and their freshman running back Caleb Hawkins, who tallied 223 yards of total offense, the Mean Green were able to cruise to victory by a score of 55-17. Although NBA opening night is Tuesday night, things won't get started in Dallas until Wednesday. Following an offseason full of drama, Dallas will open up the new season at home against their in-state foe, the San Antonio Spurs. This will be a much-anticipated debut of Dallas's first overall draft pick, Cooper Flagg from Duke University. In Flagg's lone season in Durham, he was one of 2 players in Division I that led his team in all 5 major stat categories. There's a lot of uncertainty around Flagg's readiness, however. At just 18 years old, some fans are wondering how he will adapt to the change in pace and competition between college and the NBA. Flagg is also going through a position change. Standing at 6'9", Flagg spent his time in college playing one of the 2 forward positions. With Kyrie Irving and D'Angelo Russell still injured, however, Flagg will start at point guard on Wednesday night. Tune in Wednesday night at 8:30 to see the young prodigy make his NBA debut. That's all for sports, folks. Back to Annie and Cameron at the desk.
Thanks, Houston. Cameron, with this chill in the air, I really feel like something spooky is just around the corner.
Spooky and exciting, Annie. Thin Line Film Festival is hosting a 48 Hours of Hell film competition, in which teams have 48 hours to write, produce, and edit a 4 to 8 minute horror film. This Wednesday, October 22nd, you can register your team at thinline.us. The public screening will be held Friday for all to enjoy. Thanks so much for watching NTTV News at Noon.
Join us again tonight at 6 and tomorrow at noon here on North Texas Television.